This wearable is the future of fitness tracking. I've been wearing the Whoop for over 2 years and the Whoop 4.0 for over 100 days. My opinion has changed. In this video, we'll cover the hardware, the software, the price, and my favorite alternatives. When it comes to the hardware, this is kind of what the hardware on the Whoop strap looks like on my wrist. It's relatively thick and it's got the heart rate monitor on the bottom. There are the green lights flickering. I love that they improved the system. It's pretty easy to take off. So now I'm switching over to the bicep strap, which is my preferred way to wear this. And you just slide that piece on, hook it right here. And within about like 30 seconds, I now have the bicep version. I can slide it onto my arm and latch it on. And now this is kind of a little more subtle and I can wear this and forget about it, put my sleeve over it. Now in terms of the Whoop hardware, if it's something that's not easy to use, you're less likely to use it. For example, how often do I really need to take off my Whoop strap? Almost never. Their charging protocol is second to none, the best one out there. You charge this little charging puck right here that I lose pretty much all the time. I slide the charging puck onto my bicep and I just double tap to make sure that it's working, and now the device is charging. When I'm done, I pull this off and I charge the puck itself. What I really would love to see is taking this charging puck and putting an air tag on it so I don't lose this thing, because I lose this all the freaking time. This is versus my Apple Watch, right? If you have a Fitbit or Apple Watch, you take this off, you put it on the charger, and then you have to remember to actually grab your watch and put it back on. The whole process of removing something and then having the friction point of putting it back on is going to make you more likely not to use it. But I do love this new improved latching system where I'm easily able to remove the band that I'm using, and if I want to use the Whoop clothing, which I have right here, the Whoop shirt, thank you Katie Type A. This Whoop body has like a little bit of spot in its sleeve, and inside of the sleeve, if I can slide my Whoop 4.0 in there, and I can actually wear this shirt, and now the Whoop 4.0 will be in my bicep inside of the shirt, and no one can literally see where it is. Not only is that one of my favorite choices, this little smart technology is like a transformer. I can put it in a shirt. Maybe I put it inside of Whoop underwear. That's everyday wear. What about the Whoop athletic underwear? And even the Whoop shorts. They all have this little spot where you can put it in. They even have bras. I don't typically wear bras very often, but that's another option. And lastly, the Whoop bicep sleeve. This is also really nice if you don't want to actually put on a shirt, but you still want to wrap it around your bicep and have it protected specifically for like jujitsu. You can use this. It's smaller than their actual t-shirt. There is a new vibrate to wake feature. So if I want to set up a wake time now and you don't want to disturb, let's say your partner or anyone else in the room, if you sleep in like a bunk bed hostel or something like that, there's a feature in here where I can go ahead and turn on the alarm and I can ask the Whoop to wake me up at an exact time, wake me up when I've hit my sleep goal of X recovery, or if I'm in the green for my Whoop strap. So let's say you want to hit your sleep goal, you want to just perform for the day, get by, or 100% of your sleep goal, or you want to go in the green time and you set the latest time that you're allowed to wake up, or the most typical way you'd set an alarm is set an exact time. I would save and set the alarm, and now it says I need 8 hours and 44 minutes of sleep, go to bed by 10:31, and my Whoop will actually vibrate at 7:15 in the morning. In terms of the Whoop alarm, what I've noticed is if it's on my bicep and I move a lot when I sleep. When I roll onto the Whoop strap, sometimes it'll turn the alarm off and I'll go straight back to bed. When I put it on my wrist, same thing. If you tap the Whoop strap, like I think it's a couple times, it will turn the alarm off. There's no snooze feature or anything. The same thing kind of happens with my Apple Watch, but luckily the Apple Watch, when you tap it, it snoozes and it keeps coming back. I wish the Whoop had some kind of feature where you snooze rather than you turn off the alarm entirely. I set multiple alarms. I got my 8 sleep alarm, my Apple Watch alarm, my iPhone alarm, the lights, and the Whoop alarm. Actually, tomorrow I have a flight, so I do need to wake up at 6:15. So let's save and set the alarm. Now, if you plan to buy a Whoop, use my link down below. It'll save you $30 in your first month, and it helps support the channel. Battery life. My Apple Watch lasts about a day, whereas the Whoop will last 3 to 4 days, so I can worry about it less often. I do like the daily habit of putting my watch and my iPhone on the charger at the same time, whereas this is a little more inconsistent. It's not a daily process that you can kind of habitualize. You have to be reminded to put it on the charger every 3 to 5 days-ish. And then when you do lose the charger, I wish this had Qi charging, right? I've had the issue where I had to borrow a friend's charger, but why can't I just put this on an Apple MagSafe charger and have the Whoop strap charge when I've lost the little wireless charger that they have right there? When it comes to the charging puck, I've also heard some issues with some people not actually charging their Whoop strap. My solution I found is if you actually plug it in, because it's not like booting up, and then you plug this into your computer or an extremely high powered wattage charger, it boots up the charging puck here. And this is a Whoop issue that I've heard a lot about on Reddit, but it seems like they fixed it with a software update. If it ever does happen to you, I try to just plug it into varying ports, varying cables, and sometimes it'll like boot up. The new Whoop 4.0 is 33% smaller, which is like a nice to have. I like how it's a little bit smaller. I wish it could just be flat, flush against the skin, or even fully integrated into my clothes, which I think one day they'll get there, or at least some company will, Apple. But the Whoop just being an easy product to use doesn't mean it's just going to change your life. How does the software that interacts with the hardware work as well? I do have to say I'm not in love with their subscription model, but I do love their app. It is light years ahead of the Aura app, the Apple Watch sleeping app, and the 8 Sleep app. I love how kindergarten friendly they make it for someone to understand, did I get good sleep? Did I get enough workouts in? There's 2 circles you need to close, red, yellow, green. Red is bad, yellow is okay, green is great, just like a traffic light. Then strain. The whole primary goal is to fill up this gap and get enough strain based on your recovery from the previous day. If you do a lot of strength training, your strain is not going to move very much, and the Whoop kind of requires you to do more cardiovascular workouts. So I need to get my heart rate high so that I can fill up this box. And that human need, that human tendency to want to kind of fill that gap, close that circle, has motivated me to do a little more cardio a little more often. Does it work all the time? Has it done a better job of pushing me to do more cardio? Yes. And just for that in itself, I do love the Whoop strap. But that's not my only favorite feature. I think the most powerful thing they've created is the journal feature. When you wake up in the morning, this journal feature will pop up, and then it uses this data over time to give you a weekly and monthly report. And under this little clipboard here, I can go ahead and see my weekly report as well as my monthly report. In the weekly report, it'll tell me my strain, which is cardiovascular load, versus my recovery, how I slept. It'll give me kind of like an overall trend of my activities for the week, how I slept, the number of hours I slept, the number of hours I needed, as well as my sleep consistency. Having good sleep consistency is really powerful to having great sleep. Right? I want to avoid being variable, and this kind of tells me, hey, do a little better job, go to bed and wake up at the same time. On a monthly basis, it actually incorporates the journaling data that I inputted into the app. I can see my trends over the past couple months, like is my resting heart rate going down? Is my heart rate variability going up? Am I getting healthier as a person overall using the Whoop strap? Just having this PDF is really cool. I don't look at it all the time, but it's really fascinating to see where is my body trending and how can I make sure to optimize my health so that way I can live longer, I can stay focused at work, and I can have better athletic performance at the gym. For example, I can see my resting heart rate in HRV has been slightly, it decreased when I first got it. I think that was kind of the mid-pandemic. And then it's really improved the past 2 months. I've been trying to run a little bit more, and I think that's been improving my cardiovascular strength. Next are the journal tags. Alcohol. Alcohol is so bad for you. Every time I drink alcohol, even if it's like 1 or 2 drinks, the Whoop will yell at me. It'll be red. It's like your mom running into the room and saying, do not drink alcohol, except it's a little hardware device and a Whoop strap. And that's another one of my favorite features of the Whoop is whenever I drink alcohol, it says this is extremely bad for you. Don't do it because your sleep is impacted and then everything else in your day is negatively impacted. I've learned that when I get 97% sleep, it's obviously good for my score, so making sure that I get enough sleep throughout the night. I've been trying to experiment with sauna and added sugars. There hasn't been a large impact in terms of how it impacts my recovery, but it's been interesting to track this data and see what happens. And there's a plethora of different journaling tags that you can use. They even give you recommended ones to try out, like hydration, clean eating, and reading in bed. And I have the ability to customize this journal and turn things on and off as I want. They have so many different things that you can track, and allowing you to measure these things will help you manage them and see, does this actually impact how you sleep, how you recover, and how you feel throughout the day. The weekly reports are great, but it's the daily features that drive true behavior change. When I open the app and I've done my journaling, I can see how much I slept for the last night, my disturbances, my efficiency, my respiratory rate. There's a health monitor that measures 5 different metrics: my respiratory rate, blood oxygen, resting heart rate, HRV, and even my skin temperature. So whenever these go out of the normal boundaries that Whoop has selected, it'll turn yellow or red, and this can let me know, hey, maybe I'm getting sick or maybe I'm not taking good care of my body. If I have another smart device, for example, like the Peloton, I can broadcast my Whoop's heart rate to that device. I can rename the Whoop to whatever I want. And there's this kind of like 8-panel process to the app itself. So if I swipe right, I can see my strain for the day, which is my cardiovascular load, right? How high did my heart rate go? I swipe again, and I can see my recovery for the day. It looks like I had low HRV last night. I can swipe again, and I can see my sleep performance. How many hours of sleep did I get in accordance to how much I actually needed? And how quickly did I fall asleep? Pretty fast last night. And then you can also swipe up from the bottom, and I can see my trends for the past week. How is my recovery based on my strain? How is my day strain, my average heart rate, and my calories burned throughout the day? My recovery, HRV, respiratory rate trends for this week, and even my sleep performance throughout the night as well. One thing I have noticed in terms of the calories is that it's drastically different than my Apple Watch. So if I look at my workout from yesterday, right here it says 178 calories, average heart rate 107 and 136. And over here, the average heart rate was a little bit higher, 115, but the average calories was 524. They use different algorithms, right? None of them are accurate. Don't rely on your calories burned on either of these devices, but just note that Whoop is going to be drastically below an Apple Watch. One of my features that I don't use as often as I wish I did is this live heart rate monitoring. I can actually come in here and look, there I am. There's a live heart rate, which shows my live heart rate from my Whoop strap onto the camera, and if I'm working out, I can use this camera feature to overlay my heart rate on top of my workout, and then I can post this on social media. And there's so many features, right? You can change the colors, you can change which data you're showing. The one thing I don't like about it is that it requires you to stop, render the video, and then here you actually have to come in and save the video, which if I don't save the video, it'll get deleted. I feel like the camera should automatically save that video for you. That's the main reason I don't use this feature as often as I wish I did. Some of the newest background features that Whoop has added that I really love is Apple Health. Thank you, Whoop. They added an integration where they will actually read your data and upload it to their servers and then analyze it and then sell you more things based on your Apple Health data. Wait, sorry, that's not what I meant to say. Whoop will actually download your Apple Health data and then create workouts based on any Apple Health data that gets synced. So I use my Apple Watch to start and stop my workouts just because it has a screen and I don't like to have my phone when I work out. So anytime I do my co-pilot workouts, which is functional fitness, or I go to the sauna, which is meditation or mind and body on Apple Health, it will automatically pull those start and stop times into Whoop, but then use the Whoop heart rate data to analyze how that workout was. So the strain and the heart rate data is based on the Whoop data. The start and stop is based on my Apple Health. That feature I absolutely love because I stopped entering my workouts into the Whoop app since I already have an Apple Watch, and now it's entering all that information in for me. Then there's another feature I love, the Strava integration. I'm able to push these workouts that are now created in my Whoop and then push them to Strava to create more of a social experience. So right now I have it syncing to my Strava account. It'll actually publish my Whoop functional fitness to the Strava. You can see the time, my heart rate. I don't know, do you use Strava? I've been curious in testing it out. And if you really want to spend money, they have this Whoop Pro option where you can spend another $12 a month and you get a discount on their Whoop apparel, like the Whoop body and the Whoop clothing, and you get one free product every 3 months. I did sign up for it, and that's why I have all these Whoop clothes. The last piece of the software that I do really like is the Teams feature. Now, if you want to join my team, here's my team code. It's written right here. Go ahead and join the team. Let's make the largest Whoop team there is. And what's really neat about these Whoop teams is you can see everyone who's in the team. There's a whole chat function, so you can kind of push each other and inspire each other to be better. You can see everyone's strain for the day and compare like, okay, who's working out, who's not, and even recovery, who's doing a good job of sleeping well versus who is not. So if you want to be able to see all of my health data because I'm putting it publicly in this group, go ahead and join my group. Let's turn it into something super exciting. Maybe you already have an Apple Watch, and here are my alternatives. I like to use the Apple Watch and the little sleep widget. I think knowing your wake and sleep times is good enough. Understanding that, hey, am I going to bed at the same time and waking up can be a foundation of getting your sleep right. Most people can't even do that step. So do you really need all that other data? Fine, maybe you do. And that's where these other apps come in, like Athletic. This app puts my resting heart rate, my HRV, respiratory rate, and blood oxygen all pulled from my Apple Watch Series 7, and it puts it on this cool dashboard on my homepage. I can even open it and it'll give me kind of like a recovery score. They have their own version of the strain, which they call exertion. They track my sleep and give me trends over time and my quote-unquote energy and calories burned. The community and team features aren't there, but if you're just looking at pure data and trends over time, this is a good alternative. My other favorite one is Training Today. This one is colorful. I love the user experience in this app, but same thing. It'll give me kind of like, should you be at mid-intensity? Should you really be pushing yourself? It reminds me that if I'm working out too hard and I'm kind of going into the red zone, maybe I need to take a break. I need to take a day off or do some kind of a recovery day. But I do love the Whoop widget, right? It shows my recovery and my day strain for the day, my calories and my HRV. Who doesn't love widgets? And a new beta app I've been testing is Basis. This is kind of similar. They're trying to pull in all of your Apple Health data, whether it's your workouts, your sleep, and they give you recommendations on what you need to focus on. Now, price. Is the Whoop strap worth the $30 a month? It really depends on your needs, and does this product provide enough value to match those needs? For me, it's three major components: motivating me to do more cardiovascular workouts, being a part of a brand and a community that's all about fitness and living a healthier life, and lastly, the journaling feature. It's understanding which lifestyle behaviors will allow me to sleep better and perform better throughout the day versus what behaviors can actually be a detriment to my sleep and thus a detriment to my life. So those features in itself is worth it for me. I went with the extra 18-month, which is now 2-year plan, and it's like $20 a month. I would say it's pretty on par if you're upgrading your Apple Watch every single year. It's about the same price. And once you're in the Whoop subscription, you can use the hardware for as long as you want. Whenever you're done with it, you can end your subscription. You can keep the hardware. It's pretty much paperweight at that point. But I do love the concept that like when I don't want to use it anymore, I can shut my subscription off. Whereas my Apple Watch, I actually have to sell it to get that money back. And it consistently has to provide value for me to keep paying for that subscription. So I love that it kind of forces and pushes Whoop to make sure they're always improving, always making their product and service better. If you're looking to understand your workouts, how your lifestyle behaviors change your sleep, and improve your overall health, then it's worth experimenting with the Whoop strap. They do have a 30-day return policy, so go ahead and use my link down below to get your first month free. But buying a wearable isn't going to fix your sleep. Go watch my video on how to get the best sleep without spending any money.